Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in this amazing rock that we live on. This is How to App on iOS, and it's Monday in Melbourne, Australia. Probably Sunday for the rest of you around the world. Start of a new week. I hope everybody is doing really well. We're going to take a little bit of a step back from music this week. Still connected to music, but we're going to do something to do with workflows over this week. Excuse my voice, it's a bit raspy. I went away for the weekend to just kick back and relax, which I did do. Not really. I ended up doing a whole lot of planning and stuff for all this for this show and some other stuff which I've got coming up. Let's say hello to the people in the chat. Hi Scott, Pete Johns, how you going? 1000 watts. SM Borthwick, Tom. Good to see you all. I hope you all have had a really good weekend. Before I do kick off this today's episode, which is about shortcuts, something that a lot of people don't tend to really either know about or understand or use. But after today, your mind will be blown. Trust me. So I just want to bring up something that happened to me on the yesterday, actually. So I went away out to the country and took 3 days just to chillax with a friend. Do nothing really. Pat a cat, eat some good food, sleep, play some PlayStation. Very relaxing. But on the way home yesterday, it took me about, so it was about 3.5 hours to get home. But I happened to be listening to Pete Johns' live show, and he's here at the moment. He's tour around the internet. And I pretty much, like most other people who watched yesterday, followed him from every streaming service to the other. We were like a pack of groupies. It was quite cool. And I had this epiphany while I was walking down the street, because I started on a country train in the middle of nowhere, watching Pete in Adelaide in his studio room, playing live with all you. Then I jumped onto a suburban train and watched him continue playing. Then I ended up walking down the street, and it just smashed me in the face just how amazing this technology is that we have. It really is mind-blowing. With all the crap that's going on in the world, all the negativity, just all the misery and stuff, it just still amazes me that we have such powerful technical advances in our pockets to be able to just create. It's truly incredible. So why I bring that up, I'm going to be launching a Patreon over the next couple of weeks. And I'm interested to know what you think about this concept. I have an album that I've been working on for about 7 years using only iOS. That was the original goal. I started back using iOS before you could do anything basically on it. You had to jailbreak to do anything back in about 2010 I started kind of thing. 2011 roughly, whatever. And I'm really close to finishing the album. All I have really left to do are some vocals, guitars, and just fixing up some of the orchestral stuff and drum samples. It's a 22-track album. It's massive. So I'm considering creating a Patreon where people can come along and take all of the information that's been gathered from this show that I do every 5 days a week to participate in me finalizing this 22-song album over the next few months. So that's what my Patreon is going to be about. Now, I'm not going to tell you any more about it, but trust me, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before, nothing ever done. You'll be a part of the whole process. And at the end of it, if you are a Patreon, you will receive parts of the album and the finished album and lots of other things for being a part of the end of it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get on with today, because my voice is so croaky, as you can probably tell. Let's have a look who's here as well. So who's else? Russ has joined us. Sion, welcome. Sion, I'm going to be mentioning some things that you did during this week with the Shortcuts app. So let's get into it. This is Shortcuts. These are my shortcuts. This is a gallery of shortcuts that you get given from Apple, these pre-made shortcuts with Apple's concepts of what they think you could use shortcuts for. I don't know if you've ever had a glance at these, but I'll be honest, Apple can be a little bit pretentious sometimes, and they kind of offer things to users that nobody will ever use. Okay? Like here's one here, set reminder chores. I'm not going to set a Siri shortcut to do washing. Seriously, I don't want to know about it in my own head. I don't need Siri reminding me to do washing. So what these things are, they are like miniature JavaScript kind of script kiddie little programs that you can whack together with little templates that Apple offer to create scenarios and little workarounds to do things within iOS without needing an app. That's the whole concept. And you can create these things with very little knowledge of how they work. Or you can actually have a lot of experience and put together some just incredibly crazy little shortcuts that do things that you really would not expect. Excuse me while I have a drink. No ASMR today, no tea. So you get all of these little preset ones. To be honest, I don't even really look at these things. There's probably a couple of them that I've added, and they would be something like something to do with maybe iTunes to search for a track. And that's about it. I really haven't used any of these presets. I'm not going to talk about these either, as I usually do. I'm going to focus on some things that I've made and some things that other people have made and put up freely online for you to add to your Shortcuts application. For starters, I'm going to show you, if you have a look in the top left-hand corner, there's a zip files and unzip files. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, if you click on the little ellipsis here, the three dots, what this does is it brings up the actual menu of your shortcuts, of your little shortcut. And you can move these blocks around. I'll just get my shit together. You can actually move these blocks around like you're moving files around to create a chain of events that happen within these shortcuts. So as you can see, just looking at this zip files that's already set up here, the opening line here says accepts. So what it's looking for is, what are you going to put into this to zip up? As you can see, everything's been selected. So anything can be put into this shortcut to be zipped up. The next section here, you can see it's a recipe. It's saying make zip from the shortcut input. So what you just chose as anything. You can show more, and you can actually name the archive. You can decide to choose the name beforehand. There are options where you can ask, you can have it prompt you to name it. There are so many little different things in here. This is just a basic zip file I want to start with for you. And the final bit here is, it says documents, save archive to service iCloud. Okay. So I'm setting it to iCloud. You can change that. You can change it to something like Dropbox. There's two sitting there. And the last little bit says ask where to save. So you get a little prompt at the end to say, where do you want to save it? That's just a very basic shortcut in here. Let's try just using it. Let's try testing out a zip without using the Files app, because you can do it in the Files app as well, but you can do this from anywhere. The beauty of these shortcuts is you can add them to your share sheet. So I'm just going to jump in to my photos here and just, I don't know, let's grab this stupid picture I made on the weekend, and I'm going to click up here, which brings up my share sheet. Now if I start scrolling down, and they should be all the way down the bottom, there is that Siri shortcut, zip files. So I'm going to click that. Let's see what happens. It just ran that whole recipe for you. So there you go. That's done, and it's waiting, and it's asking you, where do you want to save it? So just for, I don't know, whatever's sake, we're just going to save it in downloads. So hit save. That's done. If I open the Files app, go over to Downloads in iCloud Drive, and there it is, sitting there, right up the top. Image 0549.zip. If I open it up, if I click on it, it's just unzipped it, and there's the photo. So not only can you zip up files from within your actual Files app, you can actually do it from the share sheet using Siri shortcuts. So let's just get out of there. And obviously, to unzip things and zip things, pretty much the same process. So there's two of them up the top there that I have pretty much I use all the time. Excuse me. Where are we? Okay, so next we want to look at sorry, just let me collect my thoughts. So you can unzip and zip things from Siri shortcuts. Now I'm going to click on this little ellipsis here, the little three dots, and you can, and there's another one back to this recipe here, so on the zip files. If I click that again, this brings up my sharing options. Okay, so you can really, deck this out to, as you can see here, get into your widget, so you can show in widget, show in share sheet, and your share sheet types. You can choose allow zip files to access so the internet, so you can do it through like web browsers, through your Safari, you can do it through iCloud Drive, Dropbox. It's pretty amazing stuff. And I'm just starting with this basic one because I want to keep it simple for you guys. Now, and the beautiful thing is, when you're like either taking templates of these Siri shortcuts, getting them from other people who've made them, or creating them yourself, okay? They're really easy to, just like anything else, you can download something, a shortcut that somebody else has made, and then you can go in and change it to suit what your need is. So for example, all right, let's try something a little bit different. I'm going to start moving into some music files now, because how many of you have downloaded applications to to take your music files and convert them from a WAV to an M4A, or an AIF to an M4A, or an MP3, or any of this kind of stuff, right? We're always looking for these apps to try and do it, and there never seems to be one that's either cheap or free and they disappear from the App Store. You can actually do that within shortcuts. So I've got a few of them saved here. Now, if you have a look across the top here, I'll start over here. This one says encode to M4A with tags. Encode to M4A, no tags. So let's just start with something basic like that. We'll go and have a look at the no tags. Click on the little three dots. Let's have a look at what it's made up of. Again, it accepts anything. The top line there, the media, to encode. All right, where are we? Oops, didn't mean to press that. Right, so when you click show more, you get this list of options here. You can choose an M4A, an AIF, which is basically a WAV file, the speed of the file. You can choose the then you've got all this metadata down here behind, which are the tags. So the title of the song, the artist, album, genre, year, and artwork. All right. pretty amazing stuff. So every time you actually transfer like a WAV file to an M4A, this sheet will come up giving you the option to add your track, artist, and what it does is it embeds the metadata into the file. So it does a lot more than what most just conversion apps do. And you'll find if you convert like a WAV to an M4A like this and then open it up in like a music player app, you can even add the artwork to it and embed the artwork into the track. For something that is free from Apple, it's really complex. Now, trust me, I'm seriously only going to touch the very light surface of these things because there's so much depth. Now, if you have a look at the artwork here, what I'm going to do is, it says to choose a variable. What I normally do is I just choose clipboard, right? Now, if you're going to transfer, for example, say an album of 10 songs, and your artwork is set to a clipboard, why you would do that? So you can go into your Photos app, wherever you stored the artwork to your photo, and then you can copy it. And then when you convert each track and are able to name it and the artist and all of these details here, and then hit done, it'll automatically just add the artwork to each song because it's saved in the clipboard. Let's show you how this kind of works, all right? We'll just hit done there because I've added that clipboard setting to there. And again, with, sorry, I should have finished there. What I do, that was with tags. I'm going to do the one with tags actually. So let's go show more. All right, so the one with tags already has it here. Okay, let's try this out. Basically, I'm going to go in and find into my Photos app. I'm going to find an album cover. Let's just find one of my old, what have we got? There's got to be a FMC one somewhere here. I thought there was. I thought I actually pre-sussed this out. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's in my favorites. There it is. So here's a disgusting album cover there. Sorry for the foul language, but what we're going to do is we're going to copy this photo. Okay, so now that's copied to the memory of the iPad. Now we're going to go into Audio Share. This is an app that you've probably seen people using before. It's a really common app and it's something you should have on your iPad because it's really cool. And I'm going to take a song from this little demo here. These are all WAV files. This is for a death metal band I used to play in called Filth. Let's play a bit of it. This is called Choco Balls. Choco Balls. Goodness me. We'll try something else without an intro. This is called Slut Bait. Cool. It's very heavy. So I'm going to click down here to the share sheet. Okay. Brings up the usual share sheet that you've seen a million times. And we're going to find, where are we? There it is. Encode to M4A with tags. So here we are. It brings up that sheet you just saw back in Siri Shortcuts. This song's called Slut Bait. What a sexy name. The artist we'll call Filth. Tab. The album we'll call, I think it's called Clitoral Vision. Clitoral Vision. It's metal. And it was done in 1994. Okay, so there's all the metadata for this particular song. Now I'm going to hit done. La 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 la, it's encoding, and there it is. And what this actually does is it brings up a preview for you to listen to it before you keep going. Cool, sounds great. Now I'm going to hit done. the next option is, because this is completely different than the metadata that we just previously put in, this is the file name of the song, something that a lot of apps don't let you do. So we're going to call this, what track? This is track 10 dash slutbait dash filth, and hit done. And it's going to ask me where to save it. So we're just going to, where I'm going to save it, just to show you how the metadata has been saved, I'm going to save it in an app called Documents. Okay, let's go have a look at that file in Documents. So here it is here. Number 10, Slutbait. Just looks like a regular file. I'm going to click on it. Let's... Oh. Turn that down a bit. So as you can see here, the artwork's in the song, the name of the song, by Filth. It's all in there. And if you imported this track into iTunes, the genre, the year, everything's already encoded into this. Now, I'll just briefly touch on, have a look at what I've got here. So that was just encode to M4A with tags, encode to M4A with no tags. As you can guess, you don't get the option to add the metadata with that one. Encode to AIF, which is virtually a WAV file with no tags, AIF with tags, so from an M4A to an AIF. Now what I've also done here is added actual albums from my band. So I've preloaded into these ones here. So FMC, Utensils, Jade, Starr, Dread, Circus. When you have a look at the Show More, all of them have the artist name in there. So you can pre-set up these things to do a mass run of tracks. Say a band like AC, as a death metal band, they had 56 songs. You could just run the 56 songs through and have all the names set, the album title set in there. It looks complex, all right, but it actually is really amazing and simple to get happening. So I'm not really going to go into creating your own ones today, but later this week I'm going to. So I want everybody to like have a look at it during the week and have a play around with it. And then I'll show you how to make some really interesting ones by yourself. So I don't want to, where are we? 8:23. And now what I'm going to show you is some of these I'm going to pop into the show notes, and you can just click on the links and you can add them to your Siri shortcuts. You can save Siri shortcuts, share them with people. It's a really amazing little mini app workflow community that they've created here. But what I'm going to show you is a few little hack workflows, little shortcuts that I use a heap, and they're probably going to make a lot of people happy. So if you've ever wanted to download a YouTube video, it's increasingly hard to do because YouTube continuously release new updates to their app, and it's getting harder on iOS to do it. Thankfully, you can actually create a Siri shortcut, and I'm going to show you just quickly how you can do this. So I'm going to go to Safari. I would go to the app, but because I'm screen sharing my iPad, when I open YouTube, it screws up everything. So I'm just going to use Safari. So here's a video from my YouTube page. This is a Faith No More cover. What I'm going to do is hit, oops, not that. I'm going to go to the top here, and I'm going to copy the URL. Let's copy that URL. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Now I'm going to go back to Siri Shortcuts, and down the bottom here, I've got two YouTube downloaders. We're just going to go with this one. So this is how easy it is. I'm going to click the button. It's now searching for the copied URL. It's found it, and look at that. Would you like to download high quality, medium quality, low quality, an MP3, two versions of an MP3? So I'm going to take the high quality one. Ow! And that's done. Want to see where it went? Let's go have a look. It should be. Look at that. That didn't work. What the hell? Do you know, last night I did that about 50 times. And it worked every fucking time. Oh my God, man. You can't write this shit. I tell you what. Let's try it again. Let's see what happens. Man, I love technology. If it doesn't work, I'm going to go crazy. And it didn't work again. Look at that. That is just unbelievable. But it's all good because I have a couple more of them. So let's try this one, which I've got next to it. And that one's not working either. Yay! I love life today. Let's give it one more go. Fuck. All right, let's try this. Let's try opening the YouTube app. Let's do it from here. Let's find a video. Let's find my video. The one I was just trying to do. Where are we? My library, my videos. Man, don't work with kids, animals, and technology. Trust me on that. So RV by Faith No More. Let's see if we can do it from within the app. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to click the little 3 dots there, hit more, bring up the share sheet, and let's try and do it through here. Let's see if we can trick it. I hope so. So now you get to see it running the code. This is how it's putting it all together. Here we go. Look at that. It looks like it could work this time. Fingers crossed. Knowing my luck today, it probably won't. And it didn't again. Yay. Fuck. Oh. Yeah, that's it, Sion. These things are a dime a dozen. That's the thing about the YouTube downloaders. And what happens is, unfortunately, and this could have happened just in the few hours between this video going live and me sourcing this out, because I only downloaded those 2 last night. They've probably already kind of been patched by YouTube. That's what they do to stop you. So it's like jailbreaking. It's like a cat and mouse game. Let's try something a little bit different. Let's maybe go to Facebook, and we'll go to Facebook in the browser. So I'll show you something similar to what I tried to do. Oh man. Oh, where are we? Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my music page, my Dread Circus page. Perhaps I'm going to find some a video there. Where are we? Videos. Okay. So here's a track we've got here, which I uploaded to the GarageBand users group a few weeks ago. Is it working? Okay. So once again, I'm going to copy the URL. Then I'm going to jump into shortcuts. Now this one should work from memory. There we go. This one's working. Yay! All right. So as you can see there, it's come up HD or SD. So I'm going to take the HD version, and it's now pulling it down, and there it is. There's the video from Facebook. And from here, I'm just going to save it, and it's done. Now, a lot of these download shortcuts, people upload them, and they allow you to do things like you download videos from Instagram, from YouTube, from Facebook. And of course, don't go out there and do things like that and pirate people's videos and use their stuff. This is, good for practical use for like, your own stuff, remixing things, having music as background to practice to, all these kind of things. Don't rip people's music off, of course. Let's have a look. I'm going to go through one more interesting thing. So You know what? It's been a bit of a weird day for me. I had a really rough sleep, so that's why my voice is really raspy. Hasn't been a good show this today. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you something really cool. Now, because Sion's here, he uploaded a link to the GarageBand users group last week with a bunch of shortcuts that he had made. And I immediately went and had a look through them and found a couple of them that I really liked, especially this one I'm about to show you. Last week we went through these drumming techniques on how to export drum tracks from GarageBand into another DAW to play with those files a little bit more and get different sounds from them. And as I explained in those videos last week, to actually do each track in GarageBand, you have to hit solo on one track, exit the app, mix down the single track, go back in, solo the next track, and just repeat the process as you drag each file into a mixed down version. But Sion has uploaded this amazing little Siri shortcut here called Get Stems from Band Projects. Can you imagine how easy this is going to be? Check this out. I'm just going to show you how cool this is. So I have still the file from last week's drums from one of the death metal setups as an example I showed everybody. Let's bring that up. Metal drum template. So this is all in WAV files. Okay, so you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 audio files. Now it would take probably about 15 to 20 minutes to go through and individually pull all these tracks out and save them down to individual WAV files. But with this amazing shortcut, this will just show you the incredible power that these shortcuts have. I'm going to go down here and just click on the shortcut. It brings up GarageBand, so I'm going to find that particular project. There it is, the first one, Metal Drum WAVs. I'm going to click on it. And what it should do which I wouldn't put money on it actually working today, because it's just, I don't know, technology just hasn't been on my side this morning. And I slept in, and that's probably why I'm a bit not with it today. I was extremely late getting up today. And it really should have been done by yeah, there you go. Everything's working really good. Let's see if we can start it again. And it could be because, you know what we'll try and do? Because it was working a lot faster earlier today. Let's go and have a look at another one, because I've got another set of WAVs here. This one's working faster. I think what it is, it's because it's uploading it to my iCloud. So that's why it's having trouble pulling it down. This one was already on my iPad and had already uploaded the details. It won't work with MIDI tracks. They have to be WAV files. So you'll have to get around that, merge each MIDI file track down to a WAV file. But look, this is really handy for like moving entire songs into other DAWs, onto other computers. Very invaluable. So as you can see, it's come up here with the file name. I'm going to hit OK. Comes up here saying file has been extracted, but not yet deleted from iCloud. Trust me, I'm just going to do this. Hit cancel. Now we're going to go look for it. So it is sitting in iCloud Drive, Shortcuts, GarageBand, Stem Extractor, Temp Folder, Media. There they all are. There's all of those tracks. Merge track 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Merge tracks. How quick was that to just pull out every single track? And now you can just, for an example, just go and drag all of those straight into any DAW or any like video production app that you're using and piece everything back together. So that's really cool. Now, as it's getting towards the end of the show, and I'm really looking forward to going back to sleep. And I do apologize for today. I was running extremely late. I had an extremely late ride home on the train and got held up coming back from the bush. Tomorrow is going to be a very different day. I had to throw this together like last minute before I went to sleep after getting back from my holiday. Now, there was one more thing I wanted to just give you a look at. Let's see, where were you? Here we are. So, if you've ever had a video file that you need to pull the audio from, watch how quick this is. There's a Siri shortcut for it. If you've ever thought about something that you want to do, guess what? There's normally a Siri shortcut you can make or find online. Let's just jump into this my Photos app. Now, I've got here a copy of this Faith No More track, I think it is. I know. This, right? So this is a video with the audio attached to it. It's just a screen recording. Going to bring up the share sheet, and what we're going to do is make sure I get the right one. Where are you? Video to M4A. There it is. It's not even showing up, is it? Let's try that. And there's the audio file.
Epilepsy is dancing, she's a Christ now departing, as I'm finding my rhythm, as I trust in the snow. The metal burned in me, down the brain of my river, for the fire was searching for a waterway home.
So now we're going to save this file. Has my screen stopped working? I haven't even been looking at it. What is going on? Goodness me. Am I still actually on the air? Who knows? Let's have a look. I have no idea what was going on there with my iPad. I'm so sorry about that. Wow. Monday I'll have Friday on my mind. Alright guys, you know what? I'm going to leave it here for the day. Let's have a look. I actually did pull that file out. For some reason my screen share wasn't showing the video being transferred. But now it actually is in my audio share. Oh, goodness me. There it is. So that's a file I pulled from the video using a Siri shortcut. All right. Let's end that on an exclamation point. Let me have a vape. Okay. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit different, folks. I won't be doing an app particularly. I'm going to be watching the WWDC event at 3 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. And then I'll be doing a show on what happened at WWDC. I'll be honest, I'm not really excited for iOS 14. I think it's going to be a lot of cleanup stuff. There's going to be no new features. They're going to be really honing in and tightening up some of the issues they had with iOS 13, which is now going to be called iPhone OS. The only thing I'm really excited for is Logic will be here. It won't be released at WWDC. They will show it. running on an iPad Pro, and they will release it towards the end of this year. And it will be between $9.99 and $19.95. And if I'm wrong, what are you going to do? Sue me? So I'll be here at 8 o'clock tomorrow to have a look at all that stuff that's happened at WWDC. After all these years, I'm not really hopeful they're going to pull out something exciting to blow us away. They don't really do that these days. But if they do announce Logic, it's going to be amazing. And I think that's going to change everything. Apple are definitely heading to this direction with Logic on iPad Pro. The reason this is happening, they aren't touching GarageBand on iOS. They're doing that for a reason. It's been left dormant for a reason. And if you have a look at macOS, they've incorporated features from GarageBand into Logic on Mac. So it's going to go the other way now. This is happening, and it's going to be one of the best things that happens for music creation, unless they decide to remove the charging port from the next the next range of devices, which I hope they don't do. So, an Xcode is really exciting too, but it won't be a full Xcode. It definitely won't be a full Xcode. It'll be a watered down version of Xcode. And don't expect Logic to be the full version of Logic either. Or if they do announce Final Cut Pro, don't expect it to be full versions. These will be versions that will be adapted down to touch devices. And who knows? I even have a feeling they're going to discontinue GarageBand within the next 2 years. And they will merge to become one app. So that's some predictions before tomorrow. And sorry for the show today. We will clean things up after WWDC and we'll be back to my sprightly self. And we should have a good week ahead with some really exciting stuff that I've got planned. And I do apologize that this was a bit thrown together. But these things happen. And look, have a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'm going to go back to bed because I'm absolutely knackered. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.